Smart folks, in today's fast-paced environment, without actively enhancing our mental talents, might lead to falling behind. Smart People provides 9 courses meant to improve your intellect, sharpen your thinking, and maximize your cognitive potential. This handbook will teach you efficient ways for keeping your mind fresh, absorbing knowledge from books, improving your sleep, exploring new hobbies like playing musical instruments, and increasing your productivity. You'll also learn about the powerful impact that physical activity, proper diet, stress management, and happiness may have on cognitive function. Smart People is a succinct assessment of the most recent scientific findings on intelligence and offers practical ways for improving one's intellect. On a regular basis, devote a few minutes each day to mastering these 9 vital areas. You'll swiftly master new abilities, recall more knowledge, generate innovative ideas, and exceed your own expectations. Start your path to become a more intellectual and skillful version of yourself right now. Lesson 1. Never stop learning anything throughout history. Highly brilliant and talented people, regardless of their qualifications or age, have always had an insatiable curiosity and desire for learning. Even in their late years, the most brilliant brains in many professions keep an inquisitive and open approach toward learning new things. They are always seeking new ideas, viewpoints, and information to help them better comprehend the world. Adopting an attitude of constant learning assists people to remain cognitively sharp regardless of their stage of life. Contrary to popular belief, intellectual progress does not end with formal schooling. Our brains are extremely adaptable and capable of making new connections and generating new gray matter. When we actively learn new skills, concepts, or knowledge, we maintain our desire to inquiry beyond what we already know, which serves as a natural buffer against cognitive deterioration. Engaging in new ideas, literature, and real-world experiences on a regular basis may revitalize our brain function and breathe fresh life into our learning. Devoting just 30 minutes every day to concentrated learning has been shown to improve mental flexibility, perception, and agility, even in old age. One of the most important reasons for lifelong learning nowadays is the quick speed of technology breakthroughs and global changes that are taking place around us. If one does not include constant learning into their daily lives, they risk falling behind in their job or being alienated from contemporary cultural and social conversations in order to manage an ever-changing environment. It is critical that our information remains current and relevant throughout time. It is critical to never think that education ends with formal schooling. What will separate today's and tomorrow's great thinkers is their insatiable curiosity, which they pursue independently, regardless of their qualifications or age. It's more than just intrinsic gifts or natural skills. Engaging in regular learning habits, focusing on compelling themes that fire your passion can improve your mental health and general quality of life. Continuous learning broadens your viewpoints, boosts your creativity, and enables you to apply information for personal improvement in a variety of ways. Not taking responsibility for one's own education and failing to keep intellectually engaged can result in mental deterioration that is more severe than chronological aging. By making a tiny daily investment in broadening your knowledge in many subjects, you may reap a slew of cognitive advantages that will keep your brain young for a while. Embracing a continual quest for education and personal improvement is essential to live your best life. Learning new skills and information is critical to improving your IQ. Regardless of your age or education level, the brain has an astonishing capacity to rewire and make new connections during the course of a person's life. By continually exploring new knowledge, you may stimulate your brain and improve your intellect over time. New study has revealed our brain's extraordinary capacity to grow and alter via learning. Reading, solving puzzles, and learning a musical instrument can improve brain function by engaging memory areas such as the hippocampus and building neural networks. Mental activity increases the growth of gray matter and the generation of new connections between brain cells, much as physical exercise does for muscular development. Furthermore, learning new things might assist prevent the cognitive loss that commonly occurs with age. Continuing to learn provides multiple benefits for the brain, including increased blood flow, better neuronal connections, and the possibility for new neurons to form. Learning may have a major influence on the cognitive capacities of the elderly, resulting in improved performance in memory tests and the retention of sharp thinking skills for a longer duration. Not only does constant learning enhance your brain, but it also helps you widen your viewpoints, find hidden abilities, and develop confidence as your knowledge and skills grow. Your perspective on future successes also broadens. Intellectually curious people perform better at work, have greater prospects for promotion, and can better negotiate life's transitions. Native intelligence isn't as fixed as previously imagined. Although genetics play a role, studies show that engaging and meaningful learning experiences, even as little as 30 minutes per day, can account for a large fraction of IQ variance. Continuous cognitive growth and progress can provide you with significant rewards. This persistent effort over time will enable you to get wiser every day. Continue to nourish your desire to learn. Making it a practice to seek new knowledge every day can help you grow your mind and improve your cognitive skills. Neuroscience research demonstrates that our brains can alter and expand throughout our lifetimes, allowing us to boost our intellect by exercising and acquiring new abilities in the same way that athletes acquire muscle memory. It's critical to plan your day so that you may spend 3,060 minutes immersing yourself in new thoughts or ideas that challenge your assumptions. Making a daily commitment to learning something new will significantly improve your brain's ability to absorb and integrate knowledge. This, in turn, can boost your memory, understanding, speed, analytical skills, problem-solving ability, and even creativity. These benefits build over time, resulting in tremendous development. Make sure to set aside time to really engage with a subject that is outside of your regular areas of expertise. This may be accomplished in a variety of ways, including enrolling in an online course, reading credible books, listening to podcasts or conversations with experts, and actively pushing oneself to investigate new ideas. When neurons in your brain connect with one another, they get stronger, which improves your cognitive ability. It is critical to broaden your present knowledge by venturing into new intellectual area rather than simply obtaining additional information about your existing interests. This will need your brain to build new connections. One can investigate a vast spectrum of human knowledge, including abstract sciences, global civilizations, and artistic movements. Even with a business background, it requires shifting away from passive activities such as reading through social media or viewing passive entertainment and towards self-directed curriculums. Regular daily learning has far-reaching advantages that go beyond enhanced IQ or skill proficiency. It shapes you into a more satisfied and dynamic person at every stage of maturity, with long-term benefits that compound over time. It provides greater flexibility in adjusting to change. Well-rounded perspectives based on vast knowledge boost confidence in one's talents and lay the framework for lifelong personal development. Essentially, it allows us to overcome natural losses. Dedicating just 1 hour every weekday to actively studying new material for a year may considerably improve fluid intelligence decision-making skills, innovative thinking, concentration, and memory retention. It also lowers the long-term risk of cognitive disorders. Consistently investing in your own neuroplasticity throughout your life has a huge influence on IQ trajectories, far outperforming intrinsic ability. Create a regular regimen that includes mental workouts to engage your mind. Lesson: exercise your intellect on a daily basis. To function well, the brain requires daily mental activity. Just as the body needs physical exercise to stay in shape regardless of age or career, brain training is critical for boosting intellect, focus, memory processing, speed, and decision-making abilities. Participating in activities that challenge your cognitive abilities leads the brain's structure to alter in quantifiable ways, enhancing your potential. Modern neuroscience confirms our brain's incredible plasticity, which permits it to develop new neurons and neural connections all throughout our lives. As you experience more mental problems, you create more tissue dedicated to improved cognitive performance. In the same way that muscles strengthen and weaken with regular use, your brain rewires itself when you use it frequently to master new skills or absorb complex data. Brain training has far-reaching advantages that extend beyond extending your knowledge and developing the crystallized intellect that comes with years of high-quality education. Brain exercise enhances reasoning ability, focus, mental clarity, problem-solving skills, and processing speed. All factors are important for both personal and professional activities. Just as athletes build motor accuracy, stamina, and confidence via training, the good news is that consciously training your brain for as little as 30 minutes per day may considerably improve cognitive abilities regardless of your age, background, or inherent ability. Reps and sets refer to tasks that demand you to master new skills or focus on digesting unexpected information. In reaction, the brain actively reinforces its own wiring. Long-term progress is being accelerated by the development of higher-order neural networks more than before. Regular mental exercise is required to avoid cognitive aging and to keep up with the quickly changing information economy, which necessitates continuous skill growth. Regular brain workout ensures that you have the fluid mind and mental sharpness to navigate challenging situations and reach your maximum potential. Just like regular physical training improves athletic performance. Modern neuroscience research has definitely disproven the outmoded assumption that intellect is genetically programmed and cannot develop beyond early adulthood. It demonstrates how highly changeable the human brain is because to a trait known as neuroplasticity, which allows the mind to remodel itself and build new neural connections regardless of age, and may substantially improve cognitive ability when engaged by persistent mental practice. Similar to how muscles strengthen with repetitive strain and resistance training, our minds grow tremendously during sleep, and our gray matter develops when we consistently test it, just like any other muscle in our bodies. When the brain is left inactive and unstimulated by fresh experiences that force you to think creatively, it shrinks and loses cognitive function. However, spending as little as 30 to 60 minutes each day on purposeful brain training exercises, such as learning a new skill set, reading about a subject in which you are not an expert, or using your knowledge creatively in unexpected settings may significantly boost your IQ, recollection, analytical capacity, attention, and ability to assess and make decisions. This is because lifelong neuroplasticity works by teaching mental talents that were previously thought to be inherent and unchanging, which may all be improved at any age. Beyond improving intelligence and knowledge gain, daily neuroplasticity training rewires the biochemistry of the brain. Physical training helps players enhance their cardiovascular systems and muscle memory. This sort of training increases mental performance in a number of areas, including mental clarity, ideational fluency, information processing speed, pattern recognition, and memory retention capacity. These cross-domain cognitive advancements improve performance and fulfillment at work, in relationships, and in other areas. Importantly, skipping regular brain training causes early mental aging and increases vulnerability to dementia. Because our brains are dynamic organ systems rather than static ones, the neural connections required for higher-order functioning rapidly deteriorate in the absence of stimuli. However, even a little daily commitment to activities that actively extend perspectives, integrate new knowledge, or develop new skills produces cumulative cognitive advantages over time, keeping your mind fresh for both personal and professional duties. Just as elite athletes would never consider working out for extended periods of time without rigorous training plans designed to target specific muscle groups, dedicating 30 to 60 minutes per day to mental activation through learning activities that are completely outside of your comfort zone or knowledge foundations will pay off handsomely in the long run. By practicing neuroplasticity exercises, you may keep your mental sharpness and progress intellectually every day. Neuroplasticity is your most potent and replenishable mental asset, regardless of age or profession. The greatest strategy to develop your brain's capabilities is to establish a targeted daily regimen of brain training activities that actively expand your cognitive powers with focused practice. Resistance training and well-planned exercises are utilized to progressively increase strength, speed, and accuracy, just as they are with dedicated athletes. Contemporary neuroscientists believe that the brain demonstrates amazing lifelong plasticity when confronted with obstacles. You may take advantage of this persistent neuroplasticity by developing a tailored brain training gym program that lasts 30 to 60 minutes every day and strengthens the higher-order neural networks associated with judgment, memory, intelligence, critical thinking, and attention. Just like a physical fitness obsessive might plan their weekly resistance training routine for maximum results, correctly adjusted mental stimulation physically works out the brain's muscles. Ideally, the mental exercises you perform should vary between subjects in which you are not naturally gifted or have prior knowledge, so that you are continuously challenged to learn new abilities and absorb new concepts. Learning a foreign language, using coding software, painting skills, or any other difficult activity that pushes cognitive muscles beyond their comfort zone develops gray matter, creates new brain connections, and increases mental endurance in the same way that cumulative gains do in sports. Similar common tasks, viewed from radically innovative and unorthodox angles, can provide equally effective brain training tactics. Examples include intentionally exercising mindfulness while washing the dishes or vividly envisioning joyful endings before bedtime. Making a conscious effort to apply your creativity to everyday activities fosters new brain connections with both immediate and long-term advantages. Avoid stagnation by following specified physical training plans, much as exposing your mind to everyday discoveries through exposure to thought patterns outside of your typical thinking modes effectively teaches your brain. Keep in mind that regular oxygenation from physical activity itself promotes future brain growth. However, regardless of your age, never underestimate the power to consistently grow mental muscle memory through neuroplasticity by deliberately stretching your mind. Untapped mental potential is waiting to be fulfilled. Lesson 3. Transferring knowledge via reading. One of the most efficient ways to swiftly disseminate knowledge among individuals in various places and times is to read with each book they read. Readers' thoughts, views, and intellect expand dramatically as they benefit from the wisdom of writers communicated via written words. Reading is often more effective than self-education alternatives. Reading provides huge cognitive benefits since it may download massive worlds of knowledge and years of hard-earned learning in a handful of hours. Ideational osmosis is the process by which information amassed over decades, if not centuries of study and investigation permeates your awareness. One significant effort may drastically alter the way you think about concepts in the future. Even if it is frequently underestimated nowadays, making the commitment to consistently study works that are capable of transmitting knowledge far beyond one's current sphere of comprehension is equivalent to intellectually traveling back in time and using the great minds of humanity for the benefit of humanity and oneself. It pays to surround oneself with the writings of our greatest thinkers, which are now more accessible than ever. In addition to observing the advancement of factual or technical knowledge in a specific field through the works of its experts, consider perspectives for examining life's challenges. Developing your interpretative abilities via exposure to a range of cognitive processes leads in a more versatile intelligence that enhances judgment. The only way your cognitive journey will ever reach its maximum ideal rate is to seek through humanity's laboriously accumulated written store of information. Buying a book is an investment in maturity and ability that cannot be obtained by any other method of self-education. Use this tool to significantly enhance the software within you. Although many people underestimate the value of reading in today's more distracted digital world, it may greatly increase your intellect, sharpen your thinking abilities, improve memory recall, and boost crucial reasoning capacities over the course of months or years. This is because reading has the unrivaled power to rapidly transmit enormous fields of accumulated knowledge between minds via verbal ideational osmosis in ways that no other informational medium can equal when utilized properly. Reading on a regular basis may organically nourish, extend, and raise your own mental limits considerably more than seeking isolated information that appear to be ubiquitous in today's environment. This is because reading allows access to immortalized ideas from history's greatest thinkers that would otherwise take ages to gather firsthand, as well as finely designed distillations of entire intellectual areas. Reading books fully allows the brain to acquire decades' worth of knowledge in a matter of days, resulting in tremendous cognitive gains. While nonfiction imparts precise facts, literary fiction connects the reader profoundly with people and their inner lives, flexing quite different mental muscles such as empathy and emotional intelligence. Theory of mind and creativity are all indicators of high intellect in educated, sensitive thinkers. Reading exposes one's mind to substantial worlds, which builds multiple routes of mental potential more effectively than specialized instruction. With each new text we read, our brains form new connections between previous neural networks, effectively serving as linked muscles that expand in proportion to the amount and complexity of information inputs we provide. This improves our capacity to spot patterns, produce ideas, and think critically, benefiting us personally and professionally through compound interest. Reading is a form of brain training since neural tissues are pliable. When given new concepts and knowledge areas, they can integrate into old systems. Contemporary neuroscience reveals that the adult brain has remarkable flexibility to actually rewire itself and boost intellectual capacity, further, regardless of age or background, after years of regular reading stimulus. Reading increases cognition by gradually exposing our thoughts to new stimuli. While it may appear hard for the busy contemporary professional and parent to set aside uninterrupted reading time, research has proved that even 30 to 60 minutes per day may provide huge intellectual gains. This is because, like muscles, concentration capacities deteriorate quickly when not activated. If left idle, restoring this vital stimulation through reading routines significantly improves crucial brain circuits, improving mental fitness. As the brain developed, ingesting rich, new content on a regular basis, even 15 to 30-minute reading sessions before checking email or social media first thing in the morning may create momentum. When the mind's consolidation from the night before and the faculties of the fewest decisions are weary by the morning, fresh focus emerges. Long commutes may present opportunities if audiobooks are used. Knowledge may be obtained effortlessly and without straining the eyes off peak. Daylight hours provide untapped mental productivity potential through immersed reading, whether during lunch breaks or after working from home, without being disturbed by coworkers prior to sleep's cerebral advantages. Losing oneself purposely in a gripping read for only 1 or 2 evening chapters after family obligations restores emotional equilibrium while also going intellectually forward to decompress from upsetting news or business stress, which drains peak productivity. In the same way that stretching before and after exercise helps prevent mental atrophy, and bookending days with high-quality pages that contain nutrients and deposits that wake you up, the healing rhythms of reading, whether done before or after work, provide enormous benefits by replenishing neuronal connections that are constantly depleted by the demands of plugged-in lifestyles both online and at work. This is particularly true on weekends, when deliverables and metrics appear to pile up. Reading provides you with greater energy and endurance to overcome the week at calmer, clearer levels created within, giving you more influence over external circumstances that consume all of your attention. Setting strict boundaries to avoid distractions when reading, even for short time, supports the competitive advantage of high-performing brains more than any parameter measured, regardless of how time-constrained contemporary life may appear or how vital smart technologies may appear for information. Reading lays the framework for insight, creativity, and mental resilience by utilizing the brain's plasticity to incorporate new knowledge, and it keeps your mind as sharp as a tack for whatever comes your way in the future. As a result, never underestimate the significance of taking frequent pauses to read, not only for greater productivity, but also for retraining the brain's deepest areas to enable elite attention, metacognition, and strategic thinking in a noisy environment. Make consistent small mental development in smaller areas, despite the fact that reading is frequently linked with silent seclusion. Research indicates that the brain remembers knowledge better in situations with moderate ambient noise. Instead of limiting oneself to peaceful locations, take use of dynamic situations that provide prolonged stimulation without significant disturbances in order to maximize cognitive gains per minute. Outdoor spaces such as courtyards, balconies, and low-traffic cafes create a dynamic ambience that helps to anchor the material you read. Even short rides result in mental gains via audiobook absorption, enabling a more nuanced perspective while making judgments ranging from meetings and call cues today to family talks. While many criticize audio readings for being automated, using them to improve your interpretative abilities can save you time. To reward disciplined morning work, take lunch breaks in ergonomically constructed lounges that promote full-body relaxation, followed by an intriguing book with an injection of fresh possibilities that change tightly repetitive mentalities into fluid, pliable mindsets, nimble enough to solve workplace hurdles in the afternoon. This will supplement spending more than 8 hours bent over electronics after returning home. Family-friendly living environments with a faint backdrop, buzzing improv focus, and retention greater than libraries, while simultaneously encouraging cross-generational interests through osmotic suggestions. Nonetheless, reading in public spaces discreetly fosters connections while imparting substantial information. Wasted time spent waiting impatiently for appointments or children to be picked up provides many opportunities to flick pages rather than succumbing to distraction. Carrying a real book with you at all times protects against the continual threat of brain atrophy, while requiring digitally drained capacities to think more deliberately whenever feasible, without further screen pressure. This is because endless digital dopamine is only a click away. Make use of every time and location window accessible to you in order to sustain the uplifting benefits of reading at all times. We underestimate how valuable each minute is. Bella slipped into her favorite recliner, eager to begin reading the new book on Renaissance art history that a friend had recommended. As an aspiring painter, she was looking for inspiration via literature to fuel her creativity and find her own distinct style. As she began Chapter 1, Bella, who usually reads fantasy novels, acknowledged the need of branching out into new genres to extend her horizons. She was instantly attracted by the interesting stories about the Medici family's funding for revolutionary painters like Michelangelo and Raphael. Bella immediately began envisioning the exquisite churches described in the book, admiring the inventive use of light and perspective in ancient paintings displayed on glossy pages. She got a better knowledge of how philosophical concepts and political events influenced the masterpieces of the period as she learnt more about the background around the work. After finishing her evening activities, Bella felt a burst of creativity as she reflected on what she had learnt. She started drawing and constructing interiors utilizing mathematical ideas of space. She learnt from the Renaissance masters. Bella easily integrated these new approaches into her favorite abstract textures. In the days that followed, Bella gladly immersed herself in more art history books. She saw her mind opening up to new viewpoints and swiftly wrote down new thoughts while reading. She was really appreciative for the way reading brought fresh views and rekindled her creativity. Years later, Bella credited her gallery's success to the rich information she imparted through the ageless medium of books, readings, and vistas, which had given life to her vision. Just like physical training, exercise impacts observable performance gains rather than simple length, one's attitude toward reading influences the quality of knowledge communicated and cognitive advantages derived. However, few people intentionally organize their mental activities to maximize mental progress per minute or examine information in ways that go beyond mere understanding. Follow core best practices based on evidence. The greatest method to internalize ideas is to prepare receptive brain networks ahead of time so that consolidated thoughts can stick, rather than battling through cold without context. To begin, preview the material with chapter summaries and promotional interviews that cover the author, intent, background, and core discoveries throughout the consumption process. Take periodic breaks to reflect on the relationships between concepts and apply new information to your objectives for solidifying as functioning models rather than passive facts. After reading it, actively discuss the advantages in order to improve critical thinking abilities and extract important information. Instead of accepting the author's explanation at face value, explain the important lessons aloud using your own words of interpretation. According to comparative literature assessments, this strategy increases thinking, communication, and concept synthesis while also resulting in 67. Increased retention rates boost receptive capacity even more by making it a habit to debate favorite passages and crucial findings with coworkers and family members for the sake of group advancement. Because conceptual cross-pollination enhances group intelligence gains in ways that much exceed solitary inquiry. External processing reinforces previously learned lessons. Finally, long before inescapable entropy erodes freshly formed brain patterns, using newly acquired mental models to commercial or personal interactions rapidly transforms higher philosophies into realities. Reading delivers long-term gains to your operational intelligence at all levels rather than just temporary entertainment. Athletes practice moves between competitions. Apply what you've learned with targeted accountability tactics to produce breakthrough ideas that stick with you. Lesson: get adequate quality sleep every day. According to rising medical studies on rest, there are systemic benefits to cognitive performance from drastically increased neuronal regeneration rates during REM periods. Consistent, high-quality sleep every night is the closest thing to a miracle medicine for improving IQ, focus, and judgment abilities. However, the sacrifice of this essential necessity is nonetheless sanctified by the prevailing burnout culture. While prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night is promoted as a luxury that is superfluous by the grind, a magnificent attitude that pervades corporate climbers and entrepreneurs alike. It genuinely works wonderfully for carefully cleansing the mental bandwidth that is overloaded with information every day. This permits new ideas to emerge freely on stronger foundations, aided by restorative cycles that are in line with circadian biology. The research clearly shows that even one interrupted night drastically hampers attention, situational awareness, measured IQ, creative abilities, stress, resilience, and emotional intelligence the next day when compared to well-rested controls. It also exacerbated the devastating long-term effects of chronic fatigue across all metrics of well-being and productivity in the absence of today's ubiquitous sleep machismo. However, the cognitive advantages of obtaining adequate sleep on a regular basis, as proven by research, much surpass any apparent time savings from staying up late or waking up early after making sleep a daily priority. Memory consolidation, decision-making quality, and mental stamina have all showed significant improvements. Accept sleep's biological necessity for daily access to prolonged peak mental performance rather than dismissing it as an impediment to productivity or success. Sleep has been scientifically proven to be vital. Watch as responses get clearer, memory leaps, and judgments become more reasonable as they ultimately recognize the sanctity of sleep's relevance and influence on cognitive function are becoming more well understood across the world. However, the pressures of professional achievement frequently collide with our physiological need for rest, resulting in tiredness. Instead of seeing rest as a barrier to productivity and success, acknowledging the importance of sleep helps us to tap into our mental powers that are sometimes disregarded by embracing life's natural cycles and prioritizing nocturnal repair. We may prevent the weariness associated with burnout culture. Essentially, our brains need to relax and rejuvenate every night to clean away all of the information we absorb during the day. Getting a good night's sleep improves brain function and allows you to think effectively. Recharging your brain after a long day at work is essential for memory, judgment, recall, attention, and situational awareness. A single night of interrupted sleep can have a major influence on cognitive and emotional processes the next day. However, the severe reduction in cognitive function produced by persistent weariness is frequently disregarded or even commended by supervisors who value hard labor. Despite the abundance of evidence to the contrary, choosing to sacrifice sleep for short-term benefits contradicts the clear biological need for rest, which is easily understood when compared to clinging to old-fashioned beliefs that prioritize showing toughness or loyalty through long, caffeine-fueled hours. It is critical to acknowledge our body's wisdom, which has evolved over thousands of years. By evaluating the data, we can discover our latent potential, which is sometimes obscured by tiredness. This will result in speedier problem-solving, enhanced memory, and more logical decision-making by honoring our natural circadian rhythms, which govern optimal performance throughout the day, not just for survival. Optimizing sleep offers huge long-term advantages that far surpass any potential short-term gains from avoiding it. Understanding the relevance of sleep quality and consistency is critical for boosting mental capabilities and long-term productivity through the use of circadian biology concepts. You may boost your creativity, intellect, and insight without resorting to coffee or tiredness. You cannot fool your body or the information it delivers. Prioritize rest and avoid the negative consequences of burnout culture. Adults should get between 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. However, the quality and regularity of sleep are more important than the amount. Medical professionals believe that sustained high-cycle REM sleep is essential for improving mental performance over time. Sleep should not be viewed as a barrier to productivity or success based on scientific studies and our understanding of natural biological cycles. The cybernetic systems that sustain higher-order human brain function need nightly REM sequencing for cellular renewal. This aids in the reduction of cognitive overload caused by sensory overstimulation, decision weariness, and information processing stresses. Instead than dismissing the advantages of rest as an impediment to work, acknowledge it as a tried and true method for improving performance. Sleep requirements might vary based on age, exercise intensity, and heredity. However, it is typically suggested that people need 7 to 9 hours of excellent quality sleep every night. This enables key processes such as memory consolidation, emotional control, situational awareness, creativity, stress, resilience, and reaction times. Sleep is essential for good brain health and neurological function. Following a day of action. To ensure a good night's sleep, follow a basic routine about an hour to an hour and a half before bedtime. Begin winding down by avoiding screens and gradually reducing the lighting. This will help your body produce melatonin and maintain a consistent sleep cycle, allowing for unbroken REM sleep and optimizing the advantages of a good night's sleep. This focused attachment increases cognitive performance the next day, as demonstrated consistently when contrasted to insufficient and inconsistent sleep. Instead than proudly accepting weariness as a sign of dedication, it's critical to comprehend the clear mental advantages of obtaining adequate sleep using technologies like dark mode screens and properly managing coffee use. You may better match your work commitments to your body's natural cycles. You can't disregard the fundamentals of circulatory health or the evidence-based concepts of sleep science. Invest in your best self by understanding the significant effects of enough sleep on your fluid, intelligence, memory, and decision-making abilities. Rather than focusing just on survival, ensure that your goals are aligned with scientific concepts in order to enhance your performance on a daily basis. Sleep hygiene is critical for peak cognitive function. Scientists agree that sleep is biologically important for increasing attention, memory, and decision-making. Prioritizing sleep is critical for business and personal success. Adopt evidence-based best practices to improve quality of life in the current era. To avoid burnout, consider obtaining adequate sleep on a consistent basis. This includes committing to self-care and getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Prioritize reducing digital distractions for 60 to 90 minutes before bedtime to establish a consistent sleep habit and unbroken REM sleep. A relaxing wind-down hour with low illumination and few interruptions has been demonstrated to increase cognitive performance the next day. Consistently outperformed restless rest. Blackout window linings might help you sleep better by filtering out LED light pollution. Keep your room absolutely dark and at a temperature of 6,070 degrees Fahrenheit. Use sound masking equipment to produce a pleasant white noise backdrop that drowns out any bothersome sounds within or outside your sleeping area. Discover these powerful ways for allowing your mind to reach deeper restorative states for extended periods of time. Simplify your nighttime routine to improve sleep and minimize stress. Instead, engage in internet news, respond to emails, or work on hard tasks before bedtime. Concentrate on relaxing your muscles and doing soothing activities. Consider reading a book, performing some mild yoga, or practicing mindfulness meditation. These exercises can help lower cortisol, anxiety, and mental clutter, making it easier to fall asleep. Finally, include sleep cycle software or wearable monitors into your Taylor habits. Then, carefully limit your caffeine consumption to maximize productivity during your most productive hours. Based on your internal clock, don't assume that every typical advice is relevant to your individual biology. Using biofeedback technology, sample track, and alter factors in a methodical manner to discover your ideal sleep-wake balance. Embrace your body's natural rhythm and improve your cognitive powers. According to research, having moderate background noise, such as a fan, can increase sleep quality. Contrary to popular assumption, a peaceful and technology-free setting is great for relaxation. Instead of isolating yourself, consider establishing a tranquil environment to enhance your sleep. Creating spaces that mirror calming sounds from the womb and nature can provide a sensation of profound contentment. People who live in cities might benefit from utilizing household gadgets that emit relaxing sounds. It sounds like white noise simulating rainfall or mild vibrations. These noises have been demonstrated to improve deep REM sleep, which is essential for cognitive performance. Use sound profiles that simulate relaxing surroundings. Take control of the overpowering metropolitan frenzy that has infiltrated your psyche. It is critical to prioritize proper sleep by eliminating LED light pollution in your bedroom. Consider installing blackout window linings to create a fully dark environment. Keep your bedroom chilly and pleasant with high-quality linens that keep the chill, helping you sleep better and without interruptions. Create a chamber particularly tailored for swiftly entering and sustaining peaceful sleep without being distracted by late-night scrolling to maximize the benefits of environmental controls. It is best to avoid emotionally charged information on digital media that may cause anxiety or grief before going to bed. Set aside time for relaxing activities such as taking a bath, listening to soothing music, or drinking a cup of non-caffeinated tea. These practices might help you relax your muscles and maintain a happy attitude before going to bed. Experience complete calm. Purchase a comfy mattress that supports your body and allows you to sleep better at night. This will help you feel better and think more clearly. Create a nightly experience of sensory escape through surround sound. Watch as solutions emerge effortlessly. Mastering your sleeping environment allows you to completely harness the power of sleep. Less than 5. Learn to play musical instruments. Musical instruments enable us to translate artistic thoughts into ordered sounds that elicit emotional responses from listeners. These instruments have been deliberately constructed over millennia to allow us to express ourselves. Mastering them allows for tremendous intellectual advancement. Instruments serve as means for translating our ideas and motions into sound, whether by plucking strings, pounding drums, or blowing into tubes. Mastering the technique of manipulation allows for precise control over factors like pitch, loudness, texture, and duration in tone generation. Musicians blend technical proficiency with emotional depth. Drums, flutes, and lyres have existed for 40,000 years, developing with people. However, with the introduction of synthesizers and other electronic interfaces, we can now generate sounds that were previously unachievable acoustically. This brings up a new realm of sound possibilities. Every instrument, from ancient to avant-garde, serves the same purpose: to make our internal oral ideas tangible. Music instruments may communicate across cultures. Music has the wonderful ability to mirror our shared human experience in ways that words cannot always convey. Mastering them promotes full brain integration. If you want to be a rock star or just find a new way to express your creativity, playing a musical instrument may provide more than just creative opportunities. It can also boost emotional intelligence, visual spatial reasoning, attention, working memory, and problem-solving skills. Over the course of several years, they meticulously practice their requests. Practicing their demands diligently over time can significantly improve neural connections and mental performance. Find the ideal instrument to shape your future. Learning to play a musical instrument provides various benefits for the brain, including increased neural connection and growth in both the creative and analytical sections of the mind. When multiple faculties collaborate to read notation, translate movement, and express creativity, cognition is more integrated. Music creating improves cognitive capacities. Musicians have a variety of cognitive advantages, including increased information processing, working memory, executive function attention, patience, and emotional intelligence. These benefits derive from the many demands of their trade. Playing any instrument may significantly improve mental qualities such as endurance, attention, control, task switching, and abstract reasoning. It provides a unique and effective method of developing these talents that cannot be recreated via solitary study alone. Creativity grows as well. In addition, listening to music throughout our life helps to sustain cognitive function as we age. Musicians not only retain their talents throughout time, but they can also improve with years of practice as compared to non-musicians. It's a talent that offers a range of mental workouts and stimulates the brain in a fun way. Mastering advanced classical repertoire necessitates conquering a number of hurdles that help you improve and increase your musical talents. Music education has several benefits in a variety of disciplines, including arithmetic, languages, visual articulation, and more. It helps you build abilities that may be used in a variety of scenarios. Don't assume that you lack talent or are too old to begin playing an instrument today. With perseverance, one may acquire proficiency, but developing basic abilities is easy. Consistent, immersed practice can provide tremendous mental stimulation in ways that no other activity can. Discover latent powers while improving your cognitive capabilities. Learning a new instrument might be intimidating at first, but with consistent and tailored practice, it becomes manageable. Anyone may go from novice to proficient musician. Begin by learning the fundamentals and then progressively expand on that basis. Developing skill necessitates patience and perseverance, rather than depending exclusively on natural aptitude. With persistent practice and a dash of inventiveness, you'll gradually get a firm command of the music. Begin by selecting an instrument that best fits your learning style and musical interests, taking into mind practical considerations like space portability and budget. Begin by purchasing high-quality equipment, including the instrument and any essential attachments. You could also explore adopting instructional technique books, apps, or online courses to assist you achieve consistent development. Feel free to use extra tutorial materials as needed. For beginners, it's best to concentrate on fundamental skills, including hand positioning, breathing methods, and simple fingerings. Practice every day with a heavy emphasis on precision, since this will allow you to acquire more advanced talents in the future. Begin with tiny, mindful acts and focus on the present moment during the early stages. Recognizing that knowledge takes time to acquire promotes ongoing progress. Try learning your favorite tunes by ear on occasion, rather than depending entirely on method book exercises. This stimulates creativity within a framework that encourages success. Furthermore, try joining local bands and ensembles as soon as possible to improve your talents more quickly via teamwork and responsibility, as well as gaining important performance skills. Mastering an instrument is analogous to learning a language or sport. There may be moments in your journey when you hit a plateau and need to make changes to your practicing routines. Beginners may build their confidence by committing to playing every day, even for small amounts of time, and focusing on concrete milestones such as mastering new songs, even when progress appears to be slowing. If you were first inspired by the enriching power of music, that same innate motivation will sustain you through whatever setbacks you may face. Maintain a good mix of discipline and fun. Lesson 6: Physical exercise. Exercise often improves brain health and cognition, independent of age or basic biology. Active persons have better memory, focus, processing speed, stress, resilience, and brain efficiency than those who are less active. Exercising improves your brain power. Cardiovascular exercise has several advantages to the brain. It boosts the creation of essential proteins that aid in the formation of new brain cells, the strengthening of neural connections, and the expansion of gray matter. It also enhances blood flow, giving important oxygen and minerals. With just 30 minutes of daily practice, you may improve your brain function and see substantial IQ gains over time. This smart pill is quite attractive. Furthermore, exercise has the capacity to modulate mood and stress hormone levels, which can impair cognitive performance if left untreated. Regular exercise, such as visiting to the gym or playing sports, can boost focus and productivity by controlling serotonin levels and lowering cortisol levels. Combat mental exhaustion. Physical activity provides a neuroprotective buffer against cognitive impairment in later years. In addition to increasing mental power and resilience, as we age, our physical mobility tends to deteriorate. Regular exercise, on the other hand, can help people maintain greater reasoning, memory, and speed as they age by completely replenishing their brain cells. If you believe that brain fog is interfering with your capacity to study, or if you wish to maintain your mind sharp as you age, include regular cardiovascular activity in your daily routine. Increase your intellectual potential, creativity, and focus with everyday activity. Darwin and Venke both gained groundbreaking discoveries while walking. Unleash your latent creativity by drawing inspiration from daily encounters. Moving our body has a significant influence on our overall well-being. Not only does it improve our physical health, but it also has a significant impact on cognitive function and intellect. Regular cardiovascular activity can help improve attention, memory formation, processing speed, and general mental function. Scientific studies has proven that even simple, easy-to-understand, everyday exercise benefits the brain. It improves brain connections, increases gray matter density, generates new neurons, and stimulates the production of growth factors. This eventually improves the brain's general health, much like important nutrients nourish other tissues. Exercise also helps to regulate mood chemistry, which can have a detrimental impact on fluid intelligence. If unbalanced, exercise has a significant influence on cognitive development. According to research, those who exercise frequently outperform those who are sedentary in a variety of areas, including memory, focus, stress, management, creativity, academic achievement, and problem solving. Just 30 minutes of daily exercise can give meaningful increases in IQ by increasing oxygenation and stimulating the brain. This simple and easy-to-understand exercise nourishes the brain and improves general performance, far outweighing the advantages of any supplement or smart medicine. Exercise improves every organ in the body, especially the magnificent brain. However, regular exercise not only improves mental power and flexibility in a short amount of time, but it also serves as a protective barrier against cognitive degeneration. This barrier helps to retain thinking, reading, and cognitive capacities as we age, which generally diminish without exercise. Physical activity is essential for maintaining neuronal immunity and protecting against the effects of age. Many individuals feel that movement and higher cognition are unconnected, yet much scientific evidence shows otherwise. Understanding how our mind and body interact is critical for peak cognitive performance. It's intriguing to observe the myriad interrelated reactions that occur when we engage in repetitive physical exercise that is designed to improve strengths beyond their combined ability. There should be no excuses for the relationship between growth and physical health. Understanding the optimal time of day for physical exercise can improve cognitive function and performance by taking into account circadian cycles, cortisol curves, and individual chronotypes. You can supplement your usual training program to reap the most advantages. Science can help you optimize your workout program for optimal effect. Morning exercising offers various advantages. It increases metabolism, improves cognition by solidifying late-stage REM sleep, and corresponds to the natural energy levels of early birds. In contrast, when melatonin levels rise in the nights, our willpower decreases. However, exercising later in the day may interfere with your body's natural signals to wind down. It's critical to identify if you're a morning person, a night owl, or something in between. Then, schedule your exercises around the periods when your body is most naturally ready for activity. Even if the sessions are brief, plan your physical activity around peak strength to improve your workout program. You may utilize technology to monitor your own data, such as heart rate variability patterns. By doing so, you can determine your own high and low circadian energy levels. It is advised that you exercise mostly during the increased activity periods for little more than 2 hours. This will prevent you from overtaxing your capacity improvements while also allowing your muscles to heal during the relaxing troughs. Understanding and utilizing exact facts is critical when dealing with people. Variations in chronotype. Furthermore, it is advised that you eat protein-rich meals 1 to 2 hours before your workout and keep hydrated throughout the day. This will allow you to perform better during demanding workouts and stimulate muscular growth while avoiding setbacks due to nutritional deficiency. Understanding the necessity of feeding optimally improves all movements. Instead of believing that everyone gains equally from exercising in the evenings or early mornings, you can employ biofeedback, track your sleep habits and diet to determine the optimal time for you to exercise. consistently exercise during this period, you may maximize your fitness and cognitive improvements over time. Aligning time is critical for increasing the effectiveness of training initiatives. Many individuals believe that indoor gyms or specific running tracks are the ideal venues to work out. However, nature provides a unique setting that improves human movement mechanics, inspires creativity, and supports cognitive repair in ways that standard institutions cannot. We developed by adapting to varied ecosystems, so it is natural that we feel most at ease and connected in situations that are both familiar and novel, such as shifting seascapes. Man-made surroundings, on the other hand, can become repetitive and tiring over time because they lack the necessary sensory stimulation. According to research, exercising in natural settings such as woods, parks, or beaches might improve mental engagement and help recover overworked nerve systems. These surroundings provide a continual supply of environmental interest, which can improve general well-being. When people spend time in nature, their creativity, problem-solving skills, and mood increase. Our bodies gain far more from rich, natural landscapes than from the most modern indoor technology designed to simulate different outside situations. Furthermore, various studies have shown that paying attention to the natural surroundings such as trees, rivers, and clouds, while engaging in outdoor activities such as walking, jogging, or cycling, significantly increases the time spent in peaceful and calming states of meditation. This is in contrast to the seeming concentrate on displays or measuring miles, which, unfortunately, inhibits mental rest. Immerse yourself in nature's splendor and let your thoughts to roam. Furthermore, the presence of various microorganisms from the environment, such as soil, plants, and air, can promote communication between our stomach and brain, while also increasing our body's ability to reduce inflammation. When these symbiotic clay critters infiltrate our skin, sinuses, and lungs, they spread widely. Indoor gyms that are overly sterilized may potentially harm our health. Despite their pristine look, our bodies have evolved to benefit from ambient immunological signaling, which is absent in these hyperanatomous surroundings. Incorporating regular physical exercise in natural areas allows you to discover the healing potential buried in the ground. You can improve both your physical and emotional health. This simple activity can bring advantages that cannot be obtained by being at home alone. Humans require a wide sensory experience, including brilliant colors, active air movement, and relaxing sounds. Man-made settings lose their charm rapidly. Choose vivid, exciting training surroundings. Getting into a regular workout program does not need to be difficult or expensive. Instead, begin with modest and lasting habits that are targeted to your employees' requirements, current capabilities, and lifestyle restrictions. By emphasizing intrinsic incentives and customized progressions, you may make training more pleasurable and feasible. Concentrate on the simplicity of movement rather than getting caught up in elaborate rituals that might undermine regularity. A highly successful fitness plan consists of low to moderate intensity aerobic sessions lasting at least 30 minutes each day. This promotes heart rate variability through pleasurable activities such as walking, cycling, and gardening. Cycling or gardening. Having a minor shortness of breath while moving smoothly is adequate. Also, remember to integrate strength training into your regimen twice a week in order to efficiently maintain your weight over time. Try making minor modifications to your everyday routine. This includes parking further away, using the stairs instead of the elevator, and holding walking meetings. These low-intensity exercises can help you burn calories over time. It is a more sustainable method than strenuous high-intensity regimens that can be disturbed by exhaustion or other factors. Life. Gradual and persistent modifications result in long-term progress. Sudden and abrupt changes may not be as successful. Bodyweight circuits for strength training need no equipment and may successfully increase balanced muscle mass by creatively working all main muscle groups with push-ups, lunges, squats, and planks. You may tailor your workout to your existing abilities. This helps to prevent muscle loss and enhances the adaptation from cardiac workout. It's critical to learn the fundamentals before adding weight to build bone strength. Physical activity should be viewed as an integral component of a healthy lifestyle, not as just another duty to complete. By introducing more full-body movement into your daily routine and finding a balance of intensity to avoid tiredness, exercise becomes far more bearable when viewed as a way to celebrate your entire well-being rather than a means to obtain transient benefits. Enjoy moving your body fewer than 7 times. Push yourself to become more productive in order to optimize output. It is critical to venture outside of your comfort zone and accept progress. This is continuously challenging yourself with moderate difficulty to improve your talents, just like strength training pulls muscles to make them stronger. Putting in intellectual effort and perseverance over time results in major advancements in concepts. According to research on ultra-defined rhythms, productivity may be increased by breaking work into 9,120-minute intervals of intense concentrate, followed by short pauses to recover and boost motivation. This strategy can considerably improve future performance. Instead of blindly completing chores, concentrate your complete concentration on your most productive tasks, and then take a pause to recharge cognition cycles between times of stress and relaxation. It's critical to assess the environmental and psychological elements that may be limiting your productivity. Distractions, difficult tasks, setups, and negative mindsets are all examples of this. Once you've recognized these challenges, you may begin to address them gradually by utilizing digital tools, enhancing your workstation, and adjusting your mentality to overcome any self-imposed constraints. Identify and overcome internal hurdles to personal development. To make your workday more effective, eliminate activities that deplete your energy while simultaneously including good resources. For example, you may listen to invigorating music playlists while completing tiresome jobs or connect with role models that share your objective to keep inspired and focused on your larger goal. Instead of simply eliminating bad influences, make careful to cultivate good sources of inspiration. The key to optimizing productivity is to efficiently structure your days using psychological studies. This includes strategies like attention, time, boxing, influencing your surroundings, and using motivation in science. Strive for minor gains on a regular basis, and their compounding effects will lead to exponential increases in productivity over time. With the correct direction, you may accomplish exceptional outcomes. There is abundant evidence that purposefully focusing on productivity may significantly improve cognitive capacity and problem-solving capabilities. This indicates that by enhancing our ability to integrate and synthesize knowledge, we may get greater results without working longer hours. Strive for considerable development that leads to long-term changes by progressively increasing workloads and taking brief breaks to rest. When the brain's cognitive networks are pushed, they develop stronger and faster, just like muscles do. Quantitative yields increase with time, boosting quality. Specifically, rotating between moments of intense concentrate and brief breaks on a regular basis has been proved to be an effective productivity booster. This strategy enables employees to take on various positions in the workplace and face difficult tasks with confidence. This leads to optimal performance and a sense of purpose. Most people at the vanguard of advancement go through a natural cycle of intensive labor and relaxation to avoid burnout from continually pushing themselves beyond their sustainable limitations. However, when properly planned, expansion may actually boost and promote subsequent advancement, resulting in major increases in capacity and productivity. Implementing a regular schedule of focused work followed by designated breaks may significantly increase daily productivity. Rather than working continually without respite, learn the skill of personal development and provide a helping hand to others. Understanding and properly utilizing one's intelligence is critical to producing concrete results for all stakeholders engaged in one's purpose. Organize your daily routine with the purpose of strengthening the intangible power that drives manifestation of your productivity and the speed with which you complete activities, which will enormously expand your talents if regularly enhanced. The ultimate mark of genius is not just the information one possesses, but also the innovative thoughts one generates. Increasing productivity begins with identifying the elements that impede everyday production, such as the environment, mentality, and procedure. Then, a tailored strategy may be created utilizing tried-and-true ways to increase motivation, energy, and attention while reducing distractions and multitasking. Take a moment to honestly assess the issues that may be impeding your success, and then commit to making the necessary changes to achieve your maximum potential. For example, while feeling overwhelmed, structured productivity strategies might be useful. These techniques entail breaking down large projects into smaller, more achievable jobs and structuring them around a common concept. Furthermore, you may utilize focus applications to prevent distracting websites that can disrupt your attention during work breaks. This technique has been shown to be the most effective in creating a state of flow. Put an end to haphazard and irregular scheduling. It is critical to ensure that your workplace is personalized to your individual requirements. This might include employing ergonomic stand-up workstations to alleviate back strain. Wearing noise-canceling headphones or properly situating your screen can minimize strain-induced headaches when the environment promotes rather than impedes working. Work naturally rises when motivation and comfort levels improve, resulting in increased daily outputs. However, it is crucial to note that pushing oneself too hard for an extended length of time can result in burnout and decreased productivity. To avoid this, it is advised that you take brief 90-minute pauses. To replenish your cognitive resources, take a short stroll, have a snack, or listen to music. Take the opportunity to thoroughly relax and refresh by making tailored environmental adjustments. By incorporating discoveries from psychology research and honestly examining areas for improvement in workflow, you may organically increase productivity over time. However, there are several essential principles that must be observed. First, it is critical to prioritize process changes. Second, adjusting the environment to promote progress is critical. Finally, fully exploiting the psychological variables that improve peak performance on a regular basis is critical. Here's a plan that will guide you to outstanding outcomes in a simple and basic manner. Lesson 8. Choose healthy foods to eat. Nootropic pills have gained popularity due to their capacity to improve cognitive performance. However, we frequently underestimate the significant effect that a well-balanced diet may have on our cognitive capacities. Consuming whole foods rich in nutrients can help us increase our memory, attention, processing speed, stress resilience, and neurological efficiency. These natural techniques of improving brain function cannot be mimicked by synthetic fast fixes, and they bring long-term advantages. A varied and bountiful diet will nourish your intellect. Omega oils are essential for cell membrane formation and can help avoid inflammatory immune responses that can impair mood and concentration. When colored carbohydrate diets are paired with these effects, they produce glucose molecules that directly fuel brain energy metabolism at the mitochondrial level. This helps to minimize blood sugar drops and maintain motivation. Always maintain a suitable balance of vital macronutrients. It is critical to consume enough protein from foods such as eggs, Greek yogurt, and almonds. These meals contain the amino acids required to renew essential neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, and acetylcholine, which influence mood, motivation, and memory. Protein rebuilding is critical for sustaining higher cognitive function. Without it, cognition becomes impaired. Furthermore, staying hydrated increases blood volume, allowing for greater nutrition delivery and waste removal via kidney filtration. This can help avoid the buildup of toxins in the body, which can impair awareness over time due to persistent dehydration. A healthy biological cleansing system is essential for achieving and sustaining high energy levels. Instead of treating nutrition as a secondary chore or judging outcomes purely on looks, it's critical to understand that the nutrients you take with each meal affect your entire well-being and productivity. Understanding the significance of construction materials is critical for your mental health, which is impacted by what you consume or do not consume. Understanding how to maximize health can have a significant influence on the mental endurance. Although they may appear enticing at first glance, highly processed convenience items and quick foods can have long-term harmful impacts on our mental and physical health. These meals can upset many biological systems and give just brief enjoyment without regard for the long-term influence on our overall health and happiness. Excess sugar consumption can put a load on the pancreas, leading to metabolic cardiovascular disease and poor cognitive function as a result of energy imbalances. Furthermore, a variety of preservatives, chemicals, and taste additives might cause an accumulation of artificial metabolites, disrupting the gut microbiome's diversity. This diversity is essential for sustaining psychological health and is inextricably linked to the nervous system as a whole, which contributes to brain development and awareness. Furthermore, many synthetic compounds contained in unhealthy foods can have a negative impact on brain development, memory function, and the efficacy of important drugs. These effects might be the result of complicated metabolic processes that have not been adequately investigated for their long-term implications. However, we frequently forego our capacity to recover for the momentary pleasure that those specific elements bring. Furthermore, a combination of circumstances might lead to a tolerance for low-quality desires that outweigh our natural hunger sense, which is supposed to direct us toward better choices. Instead, this can lead to a never-ending chase of momentary pleasure through continual munching that provides no genuine physiological fulfillment. Food that stresses lengthy shelf life over human health contradicts our natural metabolic instincts owing to mistaken business goals. Regular use of highly processed meals might be hazardous to your health. These meals are typically easy and enjoyable, but they lack important nutrients and can harm your general health. They can interfere with critical neurochemical communication, resulting in diminished satisfaction, cognitive performance, emotional abnormalities, cardiovascular difficulties, and digestive pain. Finally, dependence on processed foods increases your risk of avoidable illnesses and age-related deterioration. There are always consequences when attempting to fool your body or control time. Choose whole foods for long-term advantages. Choosing healthy diets high in fiber, protein, and vital fats is critical for maintaining long-term cognitive performance and resilience. These natural foods are more nutritious than highly processed ones, which may be low in calories or fat-free. Accept substances that form chemicals that genuinely benefit cells. Look at colorful veggies and low-sugar fruits. They include complex carbohydrates, antioxidants, and polyphenol, which help improve attention, stimulate the immune system, and aid in tissue repair. Furthermore, they will not create rapid blood sugar spikes and falls, which can impair consistent energy, mood, and appetite control. The colorful chemistry of these signals reflects their richness. Choose a wide choice of colors. Furthermore, sustainable wild-caught seafood, pasture-grown organic meats, and eggs include anti-inflammatory omega fats that are essential for cognitive function. They also supply high-quality proteins that are necessary for the resynthesis of neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine, all of which are vital for drive, mood, and memory consolidation. Select high-quality protein sources. When you incorporate minimally processed whole food items into each meal, something spectacular happens. The many ingredients in these meals work together during digestion to release the maximum quantity of nutrients for your body to absorb. This is far superior to isolating human components and separating them from the natural cofactors that aid in absorption. Make an intentional effort to blend nutritional items. For people who struggle with chronic, unhealthy urges, It is frequently caused by a lack of adequate mineral density, which might interfere with the neurological transmission required for hormone regulation, such as leptin. Maintaining a healthy mix of key nutrients is critical for satisfying our body's demands and ensuring long-term health. By taking a comprehensive approach to nutrition, we may efficiently meet our physiology, tribe needs, and general health. Provide each cell type with its own requirements. Lesson 9. Deal with stress and do what makes you happy. It is critical to recognize that extended periods of uncontrolled physiological stress and cortisol release can have a deleterious influence on cognitive performance. This can result in a deterioration in higher executive functions if not addressed via proactive self-care techniques that promote resilience and balance in one's life. Pay attention to deteriorating mental capacities. It's crucial to remember that our mental health might deteriorate before we ever recognize it. This occurs because specific regions of our brain, such as the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, begin to atrophy with time. These alterations can have an impact on our ability to make decisions, remember things, and do other cognitive tasks. So, we need to take care of our brain health in order to operate well on a daily basis. When we are stressed over an extended period of time, loss slips in stealthily. Our capacity to control our emotions can be compromised. This can cause greater sensitivity in the amygdala, which controls our fight or flight response. As a result, even slight grievances might elicit powerful emotions, leading to workplace disputes, problems in relationships, and negative self-talk tendencies. This can damage our self-esteem and impair our leadership abilities, particularly if we were previously functioning effectively under less stress. Complex patterns remain even as knowledge declines. Research indicates that adding basic routines into your daily routine can help protect your cognitive functioning from the detrimental effects of stress. These routines include going on 20-minute brisk walks every day, spending time in nature, routinely performing deep breathing exercises, expressing gratitude, celebrating little accomplishments, and prioritizing decent sleep free of digital distractions. Developing basic behaviors can assist to improve brain coherence. It is critical to prioritize productivity in order to satisfy rising task demands. However, it is also critical to recall the essential cognitive skills that lead to long-term job stability. This can be accomplished by consciously introducing science-backed stress relievers into our hectic routines. Pay attention to the early indicators of deteriorating mental ability, which may be harming your performance. Find help by practicing self-care in your daily life. Embrace information today to improve your brain capacities in the future. One method to preserve cognitive resilience in the face of stress is to identify and address problems that drain mental energy. By making research-backed changes, we can put a pressure on executive functions that get overwhelmed when repeatedly overloaded. Making minor modifications to your routine, such as scheduling distinct periods for focused work, clear communication of your availability, or grouping messages to be checked in the morning and evening will assist prevent persistent digital distractions from consuming your attention throughout the day. Similarly, employing tools that help you stay focused by blocking distracting websites might help you avoid mental distractions and decrease the strain on your willpower produced by addictive online environments. Creating communication gaps is preferable than being available at all times. Taking small pauses during the day can greatly improve our cognitive capacities and general well-being. By combining 510 minutes of breathing exercises, taking a snack break outside, or listening to music, we may improve our mental agility and discover fresh drive. Prioritizing our human needs proactively is critical for cultivating a sense of purpose, improving performance, and making real progress. To save mental energy, it is more beneficial to avoid persistent anxiety or frustration triggers rather than attempting to treat them after they have depleted. To reduce unneeded stress, you set clear limits by removing non-essential duties or allocating additional time in your calendar. Prioritize prevention to conserve willpower. However, it is vital to understand that as humans, we have evolved to flourish in communities where we can engage in regular pleasant interactions such as touch, eye contact, laughter, and discussing our problems and accomplishments. These encounters allow us to psychologically unload our cognitive loads, which leads to long-term benefits. Take short breaks during the day to participate in brief, engaging conversations with others. Make a fast joke with a colleague. Give mentors a handshake or accept a consoling embrace from close ones to express your thanks. These simple social ties tap into our intrinsic tendency to find comfort and support in others, allowing us to build resilience in the face of societal pressure to bear stress alone. When we work together, it's intriguing to find that engaging in fun activities related to higher objectives, meaningful relationships, or community might boost problem-solving abilities. Quantitative thinking affects general brain function. This is accomplished by progressively increasing our neural capacity through intentional emotional well-being behaviors. Many fMRI studies have revealed that when people consciously focus on gratitude, inspiration, or purpose-aligned joy on a regular basis, different parts of the brain are activated, improving attention, control, working memory, and processing speed. This is in contrast to seeking out fleeting pleasures that just stimulate certain dopamine pathways without improving general brain coordination. Accepting true delight sparks profound brilliance by releasing latent potential that extends beyond surface-level amusement. Furthermore, studies have shown that simple acts like sending thank you letters, meditating on joyful experiences, expressing gratitude to mentors, recording personal strengths, or doing community service can have significant long-term cognitive effects. These activities increase emotional well-being and resilience, resulting in long-term benefits in several areas of intelligence. Understanding the link between happiness and professional success necessitates acknowledging the significance of cultivating emotional well-being via certain activities. These routines can gradually modify our brain architecture and uncover our cognitive potential. It seeks greater purpose and significance rather than temporary pleasure. It's all about striking the right balance between enjoyment and self-improvement, which will lead to a more rewarding existence. Everyone may discover their own unique talents and abilities by participating in activities that offer them joy, appreciation, and inspiration. By continually engaging in activities, people may build emotional resilience and broaden their thinking, resulting in more creativity, insights, and better consequences for themselves and people around them. Discover your passion and then share your riches wisely to build long-term satisfaction and contentment. It is critical to first discover the activities that give you a sense of creative flow, social connection, or self-actualization. Once you've found these things, make a commitment to devote just 1,530 minutes every day to them, even if your schedule is hectic. By persistently pursuing these interests, you will reap long-term rewards that outweigh occasional indulgence. For example, spending only 10 minutes on art composition apps, comedy diaries, creative writing challenges, or experimenting with new recipe components might help you increase your memory, pattern recognition, and capacity to generate new ideas. It's like working out your mental muscles with enough repetitions. Identify your individual flow triggers and practice them on a daily basis. Taking small pauses during the day to talk to loved ones, view humorous videos, or listen to music can significantly boost cognitive performance. This strategy is more successful than working long hours without taking breaks. You may achieve significant growth and advancement by focusing on both emotional well-being and professional productivity. It is critical to set limits and prevent unneeded stress by restricting activities that generate persistent worry. Instead of continuously cramming yourself with work, consider establishing acceptable workloads and giving yourself some breathing room. This preventive strategy will assist to save mental energy and reduce the need for reactive measures. Prioritize prevention to conserve willpower. However, obtaining lifetime happiness and personal growth requires combining basic pleasures with a sense of purpose by assisting others and cultivating thankfulness. Create collaborative artwork that promotes self-expression. The goal is to take little steps that result in long-term rewards such as emotional well-being and a feeling of purpose. Small joys can slowly improve our long-term personal talents. Final lesson: smart people. Finally, we have reached the end of our journey to enlarge our brains and fulfill our full cognitive potential. Throughout these pages, we realized that we all have the remarkable ability to grow more knowledgeable, focused, and mentally agile, regardless of our current circumstances. Science has demonstrated that our skills are not as fixed as some people assume. By adopting proven mental training tactics such as continual learning, brain workouts, and frequent reading, as well as keeping appropriate sleep and eating habits and efficiently managing stress, we can develop our brains and abilities throughout time. This is made possible by the brain's amazing ability to adapt and evolve throughout time. This is how ordinary individuals accomplish extraordinary accomplishments. Your cognitive destiny is ultimately defined by how you spend your life and care for yourself, rather than by heredity. We may keep our curiosity alive and prevent complacency by choosing straightforward and easy-to-understand decisions every day. It is critical to fuel our brains as well as our bodies and to widen our ideas beyond what we currently know. It's also helpful to step somewhat outside of our comfort zones in order to learn new abilities with patience and dedication. We can open up a whole new universe of personal possibilities. This approach will help you establish a mentality that is robust, discriminating, empathic, and capable of successful leadership. These characteristics may be developed via deliberate living. Keep this wisdom close at hand at all times. Continuously try to develop yourself and reach your maximum potential. Committing to lifelong development, we all have the potential for greatness within us, ready to be realized. It is up to us to cultivate this latent brilliance with our everyday routines and beliefs.